drama. And sometimes I do wonder, how the hell did I get here? Which just happens to be the name of Lesley Nicol, Mrs. Patmore from Downton Abbey's new show at the McKittrick Hotel. I'm going to give you the review, and then afterwards, I got a chance to talk to Miss Nicol. Unfortunately, I hadn't seen the show yet, so this is me interviewing her before I saw the show.
When does Mrs. Patmore get some romance? You're giving everyone advice, but you never get any romance yourself.
It's out of my hands, unfortunately. It's in the hands of the writer Julian Fellows. But I'm always happy to know that this is a possibility.
And this is very important. Not only how do you pronounce scones, but is it jam or clotted cream that comes first? Cornwall versus Devon. This is important.
I'm pretty sure it's jam first and cream on top.
Well, that's how I do it. That to me is the most practical. Yeah, but they were saying apparently Mrs. Beaton. I don't know Mrs. Beaton, but do you consult Mrs. Beaton?
Well, dead. Forget her. She's gone.
Good. And the last thing was, my friend wanted to know, do you actually like cooking, and what's your specialty?
Okay, I turned a little bit vegan when I went to live in America because I'm a big animal lover. So I had to go and get cooking lessons because I'm no kind of a cook, and my husband used to do all the cooking, but he's not vegan. So I've had a big old shift. In the old days, he would just cook everything for me, but now I've had to take it into my own hands. So I'm on a learning curve. I'm a learning cook.
I bet you wish you had Mrs. Patmore to cook for you.
That would be marvellous. I think we need her to live with us.
And one more question, and then we'll talk about the show. Have you seen Julian Fellowes' new show, The Gilded Age, the American version of Downton Abbey?
No, I have not, but my dear friend Michael Engler directed it, so I'm very excited about seeing it, but I haven't been able to catch it yet because I haven't got the right channel, actually. But I will find it. I will find it. Yeah.
Well, now we just want to know, how the hell did you get here?
That's a good question. By aeroplane.
And boy, are my arms tired.
Yeah, exactly. No, this was something that evolved from conversations that I had with a dear friend called Mark Muller, who's a very, very clever, established pop songwriter, and he was my friend in Los Angeles, and I would just one day randomly said to him, I'd just love to do something, a show, but it wouldn't be cabaret because I'm not a cabaret singer. I'm an actor who sings, and that's different. I want to do something I can do. And it was as vague as that, and he just looked at me and went, oh, jeez. And he said, shall we sit down and talk about it? So we did, and it just evolved. And once we started, we couldn't stop. And I was going to ask him if he might maybe write me one song, because I know he's a very good songwriter. But he writes for big stars, you know. He writes for big fancy recording artists.
Well, you're a big star to us here in America, just so you know.
Yeah. But I'm not known for my, I'm not Barbara Streisand. So, well, exactly. But anyway, he ended up writing me 10. I've got 10 brilliant new songs that he wrote specifically for me, and they're fabulous. So, so all I can tell you is, and he's on the road with me. He plays every single show. That doesn't happen, you know. Your big fancy songwriter doesn't come and play the piano for you, but he doesn't want anyone else to do it. So this is something that means the world to us, and we just can't wait to share it with New York, to be honest.
And I saw you on Good Day New York, and I love the fact that that song about Julie Walters, every actor has a person that takes away their part.
There you go. You have just, in one sentence, explained exactly why that song came about, because what would happen was I would tell Mark stuff, and one day, this is exactly right, you're so spot on, I said, see, trouble is, if you've been around long enough, there's going to be somebody who takes your parts. And he said, who's yours? And I said, Julie Walters. Next day he came in, that damn Julie Walters is stealing all my parts. And because I went up for Molly Weasley in Harry Potter and she got it. And then I was in Mamma Mia and I played Rosie. She did the film. You know, it's a fun song. It's, you know, and then in the end I say, well, I got Mrs. Patmore. So that's how this thing evolved. Exactly like that. I would say something and he'd write a song.
But you also got Beecham House, which was also big here. And I love the fact that you do cartoons. You did Animaniacs and Captain Underpants. What's the difference between doing voice and acting, comedically, and here you're musical? I mean, my gosh, is there something you can't do?
Well, you know what? I have to give credit to my fantastic agents, CESD in Los Angeles. I didn't do much voice work in England until I came to live here. And then suddenly they went, she can do stupid British women, which is seemingly what I've seen capture a little corner of the market in. I just do mad British women. So I did, Goldie and Bear, and I did Vampirina, and I'm doing Alice's Wonderful Bakery at the moment, and I'm doing... there's another one that I can't remember, but yes, I've got quite a lot of cartoons under my belt now, and they're such fun to do because you don't have to learn it. You can just go in the studio and be barking mad, and I'm very, very happy to do that.
And that is perfect during the pandemic. It's sort of like Zoom. You go in your pajamas and...
I bought myself some equipment, and I did it from home, actually. I have a home studio, so a lot of people had to do that because they weren't happy about people going into studios. So, yeah, and you can do it all over the world. I mean, I'll probably do some of it here, and I could do it in London. That's the joy of it. You can do it anywhere. In fact, do you know what? I'm just thinking, I got the job for Beecham House. I had to record an audition. I did it in a cupboard in India. Yeah, I recorded it in a cupboard because it was the only place that was quiet. So that's the way of the world now. Actors are having to do things from all over the place. Yeah.
And it was perfect that you were in India at the time when you were doing it. It was serendipity. So how the hell did you get here? And I noticed all the suitcases. It's sort of like, I feel like Sondheim, unpack the luggage, la, 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 pack up the luggage, la, la, la.
Well, it's also unpacking my life, and it's unpacking your life. That's one image. And also, I have a lovely friend in England called Anne Reid, who's a wonderful older actress. And she arrived at my house one day, and she'd come to London to do a job, and she was staying with me, and she was dragging her bag behind her. And she said, you know what, when I write my autobiography, I'm going to call it Dragging My Bags Around. And I said, that's true. That's what actors do all the time, because you barely ever work from home. So we are dragging our bags. So actually, as soon as I saw this design, I said, yeah, that's it. That's an actor's life, actually. It really is. Yeah.
You're born in a trunk and you carry a trunk.
All of that. Yes, exactly.
Well, this show sounds wonderful. Is there anything more you want to say? Because, I mean, everyone's asked you the same questions, and you've had to have 100,000 variations. So what's your newest variation to the question about what the show?
I hope what it does is it will distract people, first and foremost, from what is a very, very difficult time in the world, isn't it? And that's what theatre can do. And I hope this is an experience that you, for a minute, can just blank all that out for a second and just have a time where you're entertained, but you also have a chance to have a little think about your own life at the same time in a good way.
Here is what I had to say after I saw the show. Lesley Nicol, how the hell did I get here, spills the tea from her childhood to international acclaim as Mrs. Patmore in Downton Abbey, who happens to be my favorite character on the show. You can even order high tea to go with the show. She shares her personal story through anecdotes and songs. The lovely tunes are composed by Mark Mueller, who also accompanies her on the piano. The intimate setting of McKittrick Hotel is perfect for the personal nature of the stellar performance. I was so tickled by how much Miss Nicol and I have in common. I wish I'd found out before the interview. We are both short daughters of small-time family doctors. And we both had to stand in the front row for school pictures. For Miss Nicol, this was excruciating because she was very shy and didn't want to stand up. But when she got to high school, her parents took her out of the local school and sent her away for a private education. You can imagine the effects that a British boarding school had on shy her. But all that changed when she discovered theater and the sound of applause and laughter. Now, Miss Nicol was very close to her parents, except for the terrible teenage years. Her mother was very vivacious, always the life of the party. Her father was quieter, but so supportive, he inevitably became a fixture on a set or in the wings that he earned the nickname of Grandpa of whatever character Miss Nicol was playing at that time. As she chronicles her career, Miss Nicol shares wonderful theater anecdotes and tales of meeting her crush, Dr. Kildare, Richard Chamberlain. Oh my goodness, is he dreamy? Oh, I agree with her. She also told us about her romantic liaisons, up until and including how she met her beloved husband of a decade and a half. Ashman Bhatia's set of piled up luggage reminded us of the itinerant actor's life. It also served as a backdrop to show projections showing pictures of Miss Nicol throughout her life, from a sweet 6-year-old with crossed eyes to an adult receiving the Screen Actors Guild Award for Downton Abbey. Her costume by Natasha Jenkins was simple, comfortable, and elegant. Mark Mueller wrote some lovely melodies with clever lyrics that highlighted Miss Nicol's storied life. You don't have to be a Downton Abbey nut like me to enjoy this sweet show with plenty of bite. As a friend who'd never seen the show can attest, who came with me, it's a real treat. So go see it before it closes May 8th. Oh, and don't forget, the new Downton Abbey movie's coming out this May. So enjoy, and by the way, I gave that show a happy, happy face.
Antoine de Saint-Exupéry's The Little Prince has music composed by Terry Truck and a libretto by Chris Moran. It chronicles the life of the title character from his faraway home planet to various other planets, the Earth, and his return home. The story is told by an aviator who crashes in the Sahara and meets the little prince there. The people, with the exception of the aviator, that the prince meets are clueless grown-ups. These include a king who must be obeyed immediately by everybody, a vain man in love with his hat and himself, a drunkard who drinks to forget he is drinking, a self-involved businessman, and a lamplighter who follows orders. For this production, a narrator who's not the aviator tells the story and voices all the characters. This allows the cast to perform amazing feats of choreography and athleticism, including flying in all different kinds of traps and ways, without being tripped up by the text. But sometimes I found the narrator, who is obviously a French speaker working in English, a little hard to follow. And even though I know the story quite well, I wasn't always sure which character was supposed to be speaking. So I think this might have created difficulties for people who are not so familiar with the original text. I loved the aerial ballets and all the different kinds of movement. And I thought the person playing the little prince was a perfect, like golden god, just the right type for that role. This was really very charming and wonderful. And if you love the original, I think you'll thoroughly enjoy this. If you're not as familiar with it, if you give it a chance, I think you'll love it too. So for me, it was a happy face.
Yeah, now I was surprised, when you told me you wanted this little prince, it didn't seem to be a sort of story that appeals to you, dark drama preferring you, dead babies and all. But there you are. So this appeals to everybody. I mean, I'm surprised anyone could not like this story. I mean, I fell in love with the story when my BFF at the time, James Krapka, who unfortunately is no longer my friend, handed me this book and told me I had to read it. And since then, I have gone to every variant of the story that is presented. This was very visual, with Marie Jumelin's beautiful projection and Anne Toury's stunning choreography and seamless direction with Chris Moran. But I did miss the beginning when 6-year-old aviator draws a snake eating a boa constrictor and the unthinking grown-ups just think it is a hat. It's the test to see if you have an imagination. The little prince got it immediately and instead wanted a picture of a sheep, which is where the story begins. I also thought they should have included the part where the fox explains about the significance of taming, but they did have my favorite bits. What is essential is invisible to the eye, and I love this. I once saw the sunset 44 times. When you are feeling sad, sunsets are wonderful. Seeing the little prince actually flying from planet to planet made this exquisite in the telling. This is such an unusual production to find on Broadway, and I am extremely grateful that the little prince has landed at the Broadway Theater, even if it is for too short a time. Well, the snake must have its way. I'm giving this a happy face. John Ransom Phillips' Shooting Celebrities ponders about photography and its subjects in regard to preserving memories, representing the true nature of the person, and which is more important, the chair, Julia Watt, where the photograph sits, or the camera, Jean Gillette, that captures the image. Some heady observations were made by Matthew Brady, played by Jean Gillette, one of the first and most famous photographers of his day, and his scrutiny of Mrs. Lincoln, played by Julia Watt, and her husband, President Lincoln, and the dead child Willie, and Mrs. Lincoln's confrontation with Mr. Brady and her grief over the death of her child are explored. We sit in a semicircle in fancy drawing room chairs surrounded by Matthew Brady photographs of Civil War persona and Lincoln. A metaphor of an apple is used prominently, and I don't know why, but Mark's seeing this later, and I'm hoping he'll be able to explain it to me. Olivia Bovvenzi Blitz has created some exceptional costumes for Ms. Watt to get in and out of to transform herself into an image that is acceptable to Brady. The acting was quite wonderful. They captured the essence of their characters. I had trouble with the play as it kept harping on the same themes in different variations that it made me stop listening after a while. Plus, I was hoping to learn some more historical facts that I didn't know before, but this was more of a philosophical play than a history one. Still, this definitely would fall under the weird but enjoyable category and not the WTF. So I'm giving this a mixed face plus, and Mark is seeing it in a couple days, so look for his review on the Facebook page.
In Nick Hadel's Birthday Candles, Ernestine, played by Deborah Messing, comes from a family in which birthday traditions are very important. A yellow cake is always baked and heights are always recorded in the kitchen entranceway, and the whole place takes place in this wonderful kitchen where every birthday that she has from like 17 to 100 practically are taking place. We first meet Ernestine when she's a 17-year-old who dreams of traveling the world, leaving her Midwest home, and leading an extraordinary life. Instead, she soon marries Matt and has children, Madeline and Billy, and hers becomes a life of an ordinary wife and mother. Over the years, there are deaths and births and the ups and downs of a typical life. Kenneth, the neighbor, besotted with Ernestine since they were 7, always startles her and gives her a rather thoughtful birthday gift. Each scene takes place in the kitchen. Lines of dialogue are repeated as new characters experience the same stages of life as their elders. Cliches fly by at a rapid rate. I found this extremely sentimental and painful, but was amazed by the perfect timing and exquisite grace of the cast's performances. Despite myself, however, I was almost in tears when a very old Ernestine has a conversation with a stranger. The effect of this play for me was like watching a stop motion film of a flower growing and blossoming, only here it lacked the beauty of magic revelation. I found Deborah Messing to be a truly marvelous performer, and I was really impressed by how well she transformed her voice and her body to show Ernestine's development over the years. But because I really didn't like the play, I gave this a mixed faces review.
Well, this is so not your kind of play, but so quintessentially mine. It even occurred to me as I wrung out my soggy mask from sobbing that this must have been torture for poor Mark. No, this is a play about never losing hope. As long as there is hope, then anything is possible. Sadly, for some characters, they don't have the gift of hopefulness. Nick Heidel, with this exceptional cast, has turned an ordinary life into something extraordinary. The way the cast changed portrayals from generation to generation was quite magnificent. It really got to show their range as actors. And Christine Jones' set was the kind of kitchen I would love to make cakes and grow old in. Vivian Basich has directed with heartwarming but pulling no punches. This is a play that makes you celebrate life, love, and family. And I'm giving this a major happy face plus, 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 and bring an entire garden of tissues with you because you will be a puddle by the end of this. And everyone else I talked to loved this.
Laiona Michelle stars in Little Girl Blue, which is a biographical one-woman show about Nina Simone. Nina Simone was a Black activist in the 1960s and 70s. She was and also a famous jazz singer. She was also a classically trained musician. And Ms. Michelle comes out there and just wallops the audience. I knew very little about the woman, Nina Simone, but through this play, I learned about her activism and her strength and the trials and tribulations that she went through. And Miss Mitchell has an amazing voice. She knocks you out from the moment she lands on stage, where she is calming down the fictitious audience. It's 3 days after Martin Luther King's assassination, and people are rioting. And then she immediately captures the real audience, the audience that's there. And her ability to interweave the fictitious audience and the real audience and take us into this world of Black activism and feminism and strength of surviving child abuse and physical abuse as an adult. The man she marries turns out to be a monster, is absolutely amazing. The costumes were just stunning. I definitely wanted that blue dress when she came out. I miss my days in drag. And I just thought it was a powerhouse from beginning to end. This is at primary stages, and I absolutely give it 2 happy faces. It is an amazing portrayal.
Well, actually, it's at New World Stage.
Oh, New World Stages, sorry, not primary, New World Stages.
And we should mention that Laiona Michelle actually, she not only started,
That's
but
right,
she wrote it.
She wrote it. The woman wrote the play.
And also, we should mention also that Devanand Janki, who directed it, also added additional material. And the band, Mark Fifer, Kenneth Salters, and Saadi Zain, also kind of, added to it. And they put, they come in late, she would yell at them, and they would interact. So even though it was just her up there, she did interact with her band. So it really was just so good. And again, I like you didn't know too much about Nina Simone. I did not know that she was like a classically trained pianist and was really into Bach, and she didn't even like jazz and became a jazz singer. I mean, it was just so beautifully done. Little Girl Blue did not make me blue at all. I'm giving it such a happy face.
Yes, it's not a one-person show, despite what people might think.
Yeah.
You always being late. Hello, here we are with...
Hi, I'm Mark Fifer. I'm the music director.
Laiona Michelle, writer, and I play the role of Nina Simone.
Hi, I'm Crystal Joy, and I alternate the role of Nina Simone with my sister Layla over here.
Rashad Chambers, producer.
Dev Janki, director and additional materials.
Hi, Kenneth Salters. I'm the drummer, and Kingsley Wellington.
There you go.
One more back there.
One more!
Hi, I'm Saadi Zain. I'm the bass player. I play the role of Nigel Lee, Nina's bass player.
Wow, and you also do that in Living Color.
Live in Color, yeah. We're one of the people that developed the show, along with Goodspeed Playhouse, George Street. There's been a whole village of people who have brought this show to Off-Broadway, so it's been really exciting. But it started out a little idea, the 3 of us in a kitchen over wine in Salem, Connecticut at Live in Color, and it's grown into this amazing thing. And this beautiful man took it on and brought us to New York.
I've been working on it for a good 5 years, and it's been incredible. I'll tell you, it's been incredible. I conceived it, I wrote it, and I was lucky enough to find 2 gentlemen, Mark Fifer, my right-hand man right here, and Dev Janki, to sit down and listen to 4 hours of material. It was epic. So I'm proud to say that I wrote this piece, and I'm tremendously proud to be standing on the shoulders of Miss Nina Simone. This is the moment for her. This is what it's all about.
And the best thing is, I didn't know anything about her until your show, and now I know so much. I had no idea of all the heartache and that she hates jazz. I'm like, yes, my God.
Yes, we have a lot to celebrate. We have a lot to celebrate. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you, and I loved it, and it's still going on until May 22nd.
Right. May 22nd. Please check us out.
New World Stages.
New World Stages.
Come on down.
She interacts with the band. The band's very important.
Here they are.
Yeah.
Here they are.
Amazing band players, yeah.
Yeah, they're incredible. Kenneth Salters, Saadi, Zain.
Yeah, I didn't mention, I play Al Pierce, Nina's music director, as well as music director.
This man wears many hats.
Art imitating life over there.
Exactly.
Good luck at the Lortel and enjoy, and congratulations also on the Critics Circle nomination.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye, thank you.
And now, here for our favorite theater about town is Jay Michaels with his indie influencer with even more fun things to see this May.
This is Jay Michaels, and I'm your indie influencer here on television's High Drama. Louis Leparty and the Fresh Fruit Festival sat out the pandemic by becoming a radio series and then an indie film series. Now that the doors are opening, they return to being a live theater festival. The 2022 Fresh Fruit Festival is back and more amazing than ever. New York's preeminent LGBTQ arts festival is presenting 10 new works exploring what it means to be LGBTQ in the 21st century. Featured events include Deny We Were by Joe Moe, Eternal Flamer by Tommy Jamerson, Sassafras and the Captain by Sarah Elizabeth Brown, You're a Weirdo, Annie Best by Erin Shea Brady. The rest of the festival includes Accidental Intimacies, Mad Little Reefers, Motherfucking Girl Scouts. Oh, I love that title. Once Upon a Rumspringa, Roommates, and Somewhere Between Mars and Venus. Completing this amazing lineup that began May 2nd. Well, here's to the newest crop of fresh fruit. This is Jay Michaels, and I'm your indie influencer here on television's High Drama.
Our next show is May 21st, and we'll talk about a lot of the Broadway shows that have been opening recently. And we've got a couple more people that you can read about on Facebook. Howard Tucker, he likes to go to cabaret shows and give his fans perspective on things. So you can find his reviews on our Facebook page. And Ed Rubin recently went to Marilyn May's 94th birthday party at 54 Below and reported on that. And I just saw 10 years of Broadway music. So lots going on at 54 Below. But I'm going to have a list on our Facebook page of all the wonderful events that are going on right now in between May 7th and May 21st. Things that happened before May 7th we didn't get a chance to talk to. So lots going on. So see you May 21st.